It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready to dive deep into one of the most gripping legal battles of our time. I'm your host, Jim Chapman, and today we're unraveling the high-stakes drama surrounding one of the music industry's most enigmatic figures, Sean Diddy Combs. In a case that has captivated millions, the courtroom has become a battleground for fame, fortune, and the dark secrets that lurk beneath the glittering surface of celebrity life. As the gavel comes down, we'll explore the allegations, the testimonies, and the shocking twists that could change the course of Diddy's legacy forever. Was this case merely a clash of lifestyles or something much more sinister? With each episode, I will bring you exclusive insights, analysis, and witness testimony accounts that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So buckle up as we embark on this thrilling ride through the trial of the century, where the stakes are high, the drama is real, and the truth is anything but certain. This is the trial of Sean Combs. Let's get started. And we're in the fourth day of testimony with Cassie Ventura. This is the 16th of May that I'm recording this, and the defense is going to wrap up their cross today. And just a quick update on what took place yesterday, Anna Estevao, one of Diddy's lawyers, set out to portray Ventura as a willing participant in Diddy's freak-offs. She attempted to challenge the singer's insistence that she was coerced into these drug-fueled voyeuristic sexual encounters. And during that testimony, Ventura acknowledged that her early years of her on-again, off-again relationship with Diddy, that they were loving, though sometimes there was some jealousy involved. She remembered him as charismatic and larger than life. I also told you about Estevao showing jurors text messages the defense teams believes rebut Ventura's claims. She said things like, "I'm always ready to freak off in 2009. I can't wait." Ventura testified yesterday that she never wanted to participate in the marathon sex sessions, but felt she needed to keep Diddy happy. It came up that Diddy and Ventura argued about infidelity. She went on to say it was a little bit scary when he would accuse her of cheating. Ventura said she had jealousy toward the late Kim Porter when Kim Porter was brought up, one of Diddy's ex-partners, and the mother of 3 of his kids, and that Diddy was irate about Cassie's brief relationship with rapper Kid Cudi. Estevao also attempted yesterday to connect Diddy's drug use to his alleged pattern of violent behavior. Cassie did say that Sean Combs was once addicted to opiates and overdosed in 2012, and that the painkillers were a part of his mood swing. She admitted that in open court. She testified he was dependent on the drugs during the relationship and that she was too. So that was a little update on what you heard yesterday, and we're going to get into today. And Cassie has just entered the courtroom. She's wearing a wide-shoulder striped suit jacket and an oversized button-down shirt, very similar to the outfit she wore yesterday. She takes a deep breath as she takes her seat in the witness box, and she appears ready to get going. I can't say the same thing for the defense. Anna Estevao if you'll remember from yesterday's episode, and check that out. I pronounced her name right. I've been mispronouncing her name. Look, it's not like it's Smith or Jones, but it is pronounced Estevao. I told you yesterday about her and that she was a white-collar, absolutely amazing lawyer, but she didn't have a whole lot of experience in cases like criminal cases of this magnitude. Well, my thought process when I saw that she was handling the cross of Cassie, and it appears that it was pretty correct, was that she may struggle with that. Yesterday, Estevao appeared very disheveled during times. She was almost frantic during her cross of Ventura. She appeared as though she didn't know quite how to ask the next question. She did what lawyers call over-conferring with other members of her team at the defense table. And you got to remember, the jury is seeing all this. And when you confer at almost every question with other members of your defense team, it kind of seems like you're getting answers you don't expect. And I would imagine that's something you don't want to relay to the jury. You don't want them to think that the answers you're getting are not what you expected. Remember, a good attorney always asks questions that they already know the answer to. So we'll see how she does today. And in fact, she approaches that witness box and she picks up where she left off on May 15th with Cassie, and that is at that 2016 Intercontinental Hotel incident. Now, during this round of questioning, Ventura agreed that Combs was intoxicated, but the lawyer reminded her that she had said previously that he blacked out, not just that he was intoxicated. And Ventura responded, everybody's definition of blackout is different. Estevao then reads a text message Cassie sent to Combs after he attacked her. And I'm going to quote it, "When you get fucked up the wrong way, you always want to show me that you have the power and you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child." Estevao then reads a text Sean Combs sent Cassie Ventura saying, quote, "I'm so horny for you." And she responds, "You are? Why? What made you feel that way?" And he responded, "I felt that way from Friday." And he's referring to their time at that hotel. And then he says, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Not a good vibe. We need a different vibe than Friday." Combs responds with, "Fuck Friday. Laugh out loud. I don't even want to do that again." And Cassie responds, "LOL, true." Now, on the stand, Ventura did agree with the defense lawyer that that was a little strange, considering what happened at that hotel. The defense then brought up instances in which Cassie testified that Diddy had taken her phone after he suspected she was talking to other men. To get more specific, Cassie said she was dating someone else. It was apparently an unnamed football player, and she didn't know exactly how Diddy had learned about this. Diddy, however, brought it up. Then he grabbed her phone and he took off and left with her phone. Her mom actually had to call the cops, essentially, to get her phone back. And Diddy spoke with someone on her phone while he had taken the phone away from her and had it in his possession. Estevao asked Cassie, "How many times did he take your phone away from you?" And Cassie said, he did do this often. Ventura went on to say that he would take things like her passport or her watch, and this would occur many times over the men that she dated at whatever particular time frame it is. She said, "If I was with anyone else besides him, he would take things from me." Estevao then said, "So you were cheating on him?" And she said, "I don't know if I would call that cheating. When you're not with somebody, it's not cheating. I feel like it's a technicality in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. We weren't married." Then Estevao asked Ventura if she remembered Combs taking her phone after he suspected her of dancing with singer Chris Brown. And Ventura said she didn't remember a whole lot about that incident beside the fact that she wasn't dancing with Chris Brown. And then Estevao transitioned into talking about that incident I told you about that occurred in Atlantic City in March of 2014, where she texted Diddy and said, "Someone has a copy of one of our freak off videos." Remember that incident I told you about yesterday? So Cassie went and she met with this guy. Remember, she brought security with her to discuss this recording. And Diddy had said, make sure you threaten him, etc. Well, apparently this guy was recording that meeting. And in that recording, you can hear Cassie threatening the man multiple times. She said things like, I'm going to kill you. And then she said things like, he's going to kill you, obviously insinuating Diddy. I'll put you in a desert. I will cut you. I'm going to kill you because you're fucking with my life. And Cassie, at one point in this audio clip, she did say she'll get someone else to actually do it, that shit is not cool. Now, she's upset. This guy's got a video of her having a freak off. And how many times have you been upset and said, I'm going to kill you to somebody? And you don't really mean it in the literal way. But obviously, the defense is trying to insinuate that her temper is so bad she would kill someone over certain things. And then they brought up something I find very interesting.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And that is Jonathan Oddie. And if you'll remember, back in my exposed series, The Diddy Saga, where there's like 30 episodes up of that you can go back and listen to, I did an episode on Jonathan Oddie. But for those who have not heard it yet, Jonathan Oddie is a guy who claimed that he was one of the people hired multiple times for freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie. Now, he rose to infamy, if you will, because he also went to Trump's golf club in Florida and shot the place up. And he is now in jail for the rest of his life for doing that. And while they were questioning him, he started bringing up all this shit about Diddy and that he was involved in these freak-offs and stuff. Well, apparently, Jonathan Oddie is the one who had possession of this secret video. Now, according to Cassie, she said that Jonathan Oddie had taken a secret video during a freak-off and Diddy tried to make this video go away, that Diddy actually spent a significant amount of money to make sure that video never got released. Now, Cassie admitted they never used Oddie again after this incident went down. She said she was pretty concerned about it, concerned that he would obviously release the video. And this shocked me because I thought Jonathan Oddie was full of shit. I mean, he's crazier than a loon. And I put his entire interrogation in one of the Diddy episodes. You'll just have to go back and look at the Diddy saga. This dude is indeed crazier than a loon, but he was apparently telling the truth on that. That blew my mind. The Cowboys for Angels was also mentioned again. Of course, that is the escort service that they apparently went to after this Audi incident. And the Cowboys for Angels had a very popular Showtime series back in the day. That Showtime series was actually called Gigolos, and I watched that when it originally came out. It's a pretty crazy series. I mean, these guys seem like normal guys, but they're male escorts. I don't know if you can still go back and watch that, but if you're interested, it's called Gigolos. She did confirm that a lot of the guys on the actual show, on the reality show, were some of the escorts used in the freak-offs. Then the testimony kind of went in another direction, and it went to when she was in inpatient treatment in early 2023 for mental health problems. And Cassie testified that she went to that treatment for 45 days, and she said she began writing her book while she was there. Esteveo then said the treatment center, called Willow House, treats patients for sexual compulsion and love addiction. And Ventura said, no, she wasn't there being treated for those conditions. She said she was there being treated for PTSD, and she confirmed that she participated in a bunch of different kinds of therapy at the facility. She used examples such as eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which I had never heard of, but she said it helps recount memories and then process them. Ventura described some of the treatment, saying if there was a time when you were getting beat up in a room and you couldn't walk out, you would reimagine it in a way where you were actually able to leave that room. She also brought up a treatment called neurofeedback treatment, which is another therapy. She testified that they, quote, hook your brain up to a machine and you watch something and it's just kind of regulating your brain waves. She added that she got the treatment about 5 or 6 times. The defense here, I think, and I'm just going to simplify this, is they're trying to insinuate that she's crazy, that all these drugs and all this stuff that she's done has made her crazy. And look, here's the proof. She was in treatment getting a machine hooked up to her to regulate her brainwaves because she's so crazy. But to me, that actually speaks just the opposite. It speaks to, look what this guy did to her. She was so messed up that she had to go to treatment for these things and do all these different therapies. The jury was then shown a message from Sean to Cassie in January of 2016 that was brought up previously under direct examination, which referenced having a freak off without taking ketamine. If you'll remember, I told you about that. Ventura previously testified that K was their text word for ketamine. The message that was shown was from Combs to Cassie. It said, quote, I hate K, so let me know when. Please don't be mad and think that it's all I want to do. Combs went on to say in that message, a successful freak off is when we remember and we don't be fiending to do it the right way. The jury also saw messages from over 3 days in April of that year when they discussed their relationship. Combs at one point said they needed to do some, quote, soul searching this time. And Ventura responded back that she felt she was not loved. And Combs responded to that saying, you don't know what it is to take care of me. Then more messages. April 19th of 2010, Cassie said, quote, I want to talk to you about something tomorrow. Going to sleep. Love you. And Combs said, is it going to stress me out? What's it about? And Ventura replied back, freak off. It can wait. It's not a big deal. Combs responded, now, you don't want to do it anymore? Oh, I already know. You're predictable. Ventura responded back, really? Okay, since that's definitely what it was, we'll leave it at that then, since I'm so predictable. Have a good night. Combs responds back, whatever, baby. I'm not going to play no games with you, and you ain't going to keep shutting me down. And Ventura responds back, I'm not shutting you down. I never do. If anything, it's always the other way around. I wasn't going to say I didn't want to do it anymore. And obviously, what's the defense doing there? They're basically trying to show that she was willing to do the freak offs. Estevao then asked Cassie Ventura if she hated Sean Combs now. And Ventura said, I don't hate him.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And Estevao said, do you still have love for him? And Cassie said, I have love for the past and what it was. Estevao then moves into some text messages that Cassie and Sean Combs exchanged in September of 2018 about rumors she had heard about him, meaning Sean Combs, dating his yoga instructor. Ventura texted him, I hear you're dating. I didn't know. And Combs denied it. He said, I'm not dating. Dating who? I'm not dating. And Ventura responded, maybe you've been going on dates all along. She later said, quote, I actually need to stop even caring. And Combs responded saying, do you want to start dating? If you do, let's talk about it. Now, at that point in 2018, Ventura was already dating her now husband. And the defense asked her about that. And of course, she confirmed she had been dating her now husband, Alex Fine. And then They broke for lunch, and I want to mention something about Alex Fine quickly. He did have to step out of the courtroom during those moments because the defense claimed that they might call him as an impeachment witness, and they didn't want him in the courtroom when anything regarding 2018 came up because he was dating her at that particular point in time. So he was not in the courtroom, and I doubt he would have wanted to hear that anyway. So they get back from lunch. The jury hears further messages. This was from September of 2018, in which Sean Combs tells Cassie, "I want you to love me. I need you to love me." She responds back with, "I do love you. I would just prefer not to be one of your girlfriends anymore." And in those messages, they both also said they can't wait to see each other. Now, the next day, after those particular texts were sent, was when they saw each other and had sex. Cassie's now husband had actually called her on FaceTime, and she confirmed that that was while she was with Sean Combs.
Hey everyone, let me tell you about my good friend Kelly. She's a proud Louisiana high school teacher from right here in the Bayou State. And in 2022, she launched Unspeakable, a true crime podcast by Kelly Jennings. Armed with a master's degree in criminal justice, her vast experience in law enforcement, and her sassy, fiery attitude, Unspeakable has risen to one of the top true crime podcasts globally. And I am proud to say she is one of my dear friends. Kelly, sum up your podcast for me.
On Unspeakable, I focus on the victims of the crimes and not the perpetrator. I want to be the victim's voice. That's why Victims First is not just a slogan for me. It's much more than that. And it's why I launched the podcast. And every case I cover centers around that belief. The victims matter. I draw from nearly 2 decades of experience in law enforcement to tell these stories. They are real crimes with real victims.
Unspeakable, a true crime podcast by Kelly Jennings, can be found wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting unspeakablethepodcast.com. Unspeakable is an Envision Podcast Studios production.
And it was at that point that Estevao suggested that she told her husband she had been raped because he had called during that time, and she kind of knew she was busted and was saying, "I got raped," so she wouldn't get in trouble, to paraphrase it. And Cassie shot back, "That wasn't the evening when I was raped. That was a different time." Cassie then confirmed to the defense that she and her husband and their kids moved into her parents' home in Connecticut in October of 2023. And Estevao asked if they did that for financial reasons. But Ventura said they just decided to move out of LA and they were transitioning. They wanted to live on the East Coast. She said at that time she was actually preparing for her tour. And Estevao mentioned that civil lawsuit again that she filed against Sean Combs in 2023 and the settlement. She said, when you saw you were going to get $20 million, you canceled that tour. However, Cassie responded to that by saying that was not the reason why she canceled the tour. She canceled the tour because she had babies and she didn't want to leave them. And I'll go on to further say, I believe her with that. I think that any mother doesn't want to leave their babies. And had she not had that $20 million, yes, she probably would have went on the tour because she would have had to maintain her lifestyle. But when you get $20 million, you don't have to do that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But the defense was jumping on it, trying to make it look like she was just money hungry. And then the defense ended the cross quite dramatically and short. It was expected to be much longer, but the defense did end that cross when Sean Combs' lawyer shows an exchange of messages between Cassie and Sean Combs. This was from 2012, in which Sean Combs asked her if she wanted to have a freak off for, quote, the last time. And Ventura responded, no, she wanted to have a freak off for the first time, quote, for the rest of our lives. And they kind of mic dropped it at that. I don't know what that meant. That was their kind of got you moment. In other words, they're saying Sean was giving you an opportunity to get out of the freak offs or do one more and that's it. And your response to that was you don't want to stop. So Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson, she then gets back up and she does some redirect examination for the prosecution. Now, she shows some messages from early October of 2018 where Sean Combs tells Cassie he was going to, quote, fall back and to call him when she needed him. And Ventura responded with that she wasn't sure how to handle things and said in part, quote, I'm lost without you. The jury is then shown some messages between Sean Combs and Cassie from different points in 2019 and 2020. And in messages from March and May of 2019, Combs texts Ventura in part, quote, sending you love. He also says, congratulations, Cass. I'm truly happy for you. You're going to make a beautiful mother. God bless. And Ventura said that was in reference to her being pregnant for the first time. And she responded back to Combs and she said, thank you. God bless. In March of 2020, Combs texted her in part, quote, miss my best friend, hope you're well. And Ventura responded back that she hoped he was taking care of himself and hoped his family was well. Combs then responds with, thank you so much for responding. It really means a lot more than you know. Sending you nothing but love and light always. Please know I'm here for you if you need me. And in later messages, Combs told her that things had definitely been rough without your friendship, referring to Cassie, and that he had nothing but love for her always. Ventura responded that she never hated him and that she wouldn't be at this beautiful point in her life without him. And then Combs responds in another lengthy response, saying in parts, tears of joy, I don't even know what to say. I hope you can forgive me. We're honestly lucky to be alive. God was watching over us, and we went hard. Now, Combs said he was happy Ventura found someone to love and respect her the way she deserved. He asked to set up time for them to meet, adding, I send this message with all the respect for your marriage. However, the two never met after this conversation, and probably a good thing they didn't. At that point, the prosecution then underscored the events of March 5th, 2016 again, when Sean Combs assaulted Cassie in that Los Angeles hotel. And they pulled up that video and they played the part where he was dragging her back to a freak-off hotel room. Remember, he pulled her down and he was just yanking her down that hallway. And they asked her what he was trying to do at that point. And she said, quote, he followed me into the hallway. And then he tried to bring me back to the room. She's trying to leave. He's trying to bring her back. The prosecution's point there, that's coercion, forcing her to do something she did not want to do. Cassie Ventura testified she canceled a music tour after she settled that lawsuit. Remember, the defense had just brought that up minutes prior, but she reaffirmed that it had nothing to do with that $20 million settlement. She just wanted to see her kids and didn't want to be away from them. And she also confirmed on the witness stand she did make a legal demand to the owner of the Intercontinental Hotel where all that shit went down in 2016. She confirmed she anticipated receiving a settlement. She said it would be around $10 million. And she said she reached the settlement over the past month. Emily then asked her, do you have any financial stake in the outcome of this trial? And Ventura responded, absolutely not. And at that point, her testimony was over. The judge said, Cassie, have a great weekend. Ventura stood up and walked out of the witness box. Now, the next witness that was called was a special agent who handled logistics for Combs after his 2024 arrest. And the direct testimony for this witness would be handled by prosecutor Madison Smizer. His name is Yasin Benda. He is a Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent who works in the Human Trafficking Division at that department. And Benda confirmed that she handled the logistics for Sean Diddy Combs' arrest on September 16th of 2024, and she said she searched the room at the Park Hyatt Hotel where Combs was staying. Now, I'm not going to get into this testimony with this episode drop, I'm going to do that with the next episode drop. It is Friday, and y'all, my son is graduating college in the morning. So it's late Friday night. I got to get out of here, get out of the studio, and go spend some time with family. But I want to thank all of you for listening on this Homeland Security agent's testimony. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, for Exposed Scandalous Files of the Elite, I'm your host, Jim Chapman. Much love.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.